Hello, Scorpio, and welcome into your reading for the first half of August. This reading will be taking a look at your job, career situation, love and relationships, and then also life path and mission. And before we jump into things that are specific for you, I did want to talk about some of the big changes and things that are happening in the first part of August. So the first thing is going to be on August 1st. We have the Sturgeon full moon in Aquarius, and that's actually the first of the two full moons in August. So we have a blue moon at the end of the month. And this first one here is going to be a supermoon, so that's where it appears bigger and brighter. That is a wonderful time in terms of grounding if you have the opportunity to go for a stroll in the moonlight, or maybe sit out on your porch or balcony and just enjoy the extra little bit of light that hopefully will be coming through. Fingers crossed that there won't be a lot of clouds out that night. And that's really about like those full moons, and this one, it's about expressing original thoughts and ideas, even if it's not a popular thought, but just really standing in your truth and being you. So that's something to do during this full moon time. And then the other thing that's going on, and it already started in late July, but is the Lionsgate portal. And that's a really powerful time in terms of manifesting and setting your intentions. So, manifesting new ideas and new things. And it's going to peak on August 8th, and then the portal will close on the 12th. So it's a good time to step up your manifesting game. But let's go ahead and jump in and see what all is in store for our Scorpios. All right. For career in the recent past, we have the Three of Wands in reverse, sitting in the Five of Wands energy now, with the Four of Swords as the next level of energy that is coming through. So in terms of what is like where you have been sitting, you've kind of been clinging to the past, and there's some frustrations and stagnancy there that, from a job perspective, maybe you're in a job, but it's not really very fulfilling, but you kind of feel like, this is my job, I'm supposed to do this. So you've kind of had that sort of energy in the past, and then now that's kind of moving into more of like a peaceful solution or resolution type of a situation. So even if you felt frustrated, you're moving into a like kind of place of acceptance and looking for the solutions. And what's coming next for you is kind of that deep thought and recuperation in terms of what is it that you want to do next. So if you were in a situation where there was obstacles and, maybe things just didn't feel like they were working out quite right from a job standpoint, you came to peace with that. But now it's that point of, okay, well, let me think about what is the next step there. Something else that's happening right now is that we do have 4 planets in retrograde as well as Chiron, and one of them is Saturn that's in retrograde, and that's about like, where do we put our energy? Where should we be investing our energy? And it's how do we get to those goals? So I feel like this card kind of embodies that, like taking that recuperation and that rest and really having some deep thoughts about, where do I want to be focusing my energy? So if things aren't working out and I'm not satisfied here, before I just quickly jump to something else, let me think about what is it that I want, so that I can move forward with intention and choose a path that I think is going to be a good fit for me. And one of the other planets that's in retrograde is Pluto, which is kind of that destroyer type of energy, where it's pushing you to look within and see, what is it that needs to be transformed. So if it's something on the career side, if you felt like there were obstacles and things like that, what needs to be transformed? What do you need to do differently to feel more fulfilled from a work and career standpoint? So, all right, let's take a look at what is trying to come out from a love standpoint. So in the past, we had the Page of Pentacles. You're sitting in the Seven of Swords now, with Judgment in reverse as kind of your next layer. So with this, it was, in the past, you kind of had some, in the recent past, like feelings of maybe laziness or immaturity, like kind of not really knowing what direction to go. And you've maybe been thinking about that. And then that's pushing into this thing of, you didn't know what to do. So you're kind of in like a almost deceitful type of energy. And, you can see this person's kind of sneaking off with some of the swords and looking back at the other swords that have been left behind. So this is, whether the lies and deception and cheating, whether that was you doing that to your partner or having that energy with your partner, or whether that was your partner with, doing those things with you, it kind of seems like this is a muddied type of relationship situation, with the next level of energy being kind of like, a failure to learn from the past. And there's some, doubt and, ignoring different opportunities. So you have an opportunity to change this situation. So the, I guess, kind of push from spirit, or the push from the universe here is, grab a hold of those opportunities. With Venus being in retrograde right now, that puts a lot more focus on your relationships. It kind of has that make it or break it type of energy. So it's amplifying what's already there. And it seems like there's, that this relationship has not necessarily been a very, I'll call it, healthy, stable, growing type of relationship for you. It seems like if there was an immaturity and some lies, and, that was maybe just not really the right fit. So this, in the future, if there's a failure to learn from the past, you want to avoid that. So you don't want to keep repeating the same cycles over and over again. In general, you're here to learn different lessons in this lifetime, and you can either do it the easy way or the hard way. So if you choose to ignore the opportunities to learn, you're going to keep getting the same lessons coming at you from different perspectives. So, when people, why is it that I always attract somebody who's fill in the blank, somebody who's a narcissist, someone who's emotionally unavailable, someone who's, neglectful, whatever it is, it's because you're not learning from, oftentimes you're not learning from those lessons, and you're not saying, hey, what is it that I find attractive about that, to begin with, that keeps getting me into those relationships. And sometimes it could be a matter of just bad luck. But one of the things that's happening with Chiron in retrograde, that's the wounded healer. And that's going to be in retrograde through the rest of the year. But that's really having you shift your focus back to you and what needs to be healed so that you can move forward. Neptune is also in retrograde, and Neptune is kind of that dreamy type of energy. And so when it's in retrograde, it's stripping away some of these delusions and, looking beyond the fantasies. So maybe it's that you end up in relationships with people who are, I'll make this up, call it workaholics, who don't give you much attention, but it's because you're attracted to people that are, wealthy and powerful and have everything together, because maybe you were in a situation where you felt powerless, or you feel like, I don't have enough abundance of, wealth or resources, whatever. And so you need to heal that wound so that you're not living in that lack state where, you're attracted to somebody that's not giving you the attention that you want and deserve. So that's kind of that process when it's saying, okay, go within and see what needs to be healed. But let's take a look at what is going on for your life path and mission. All right, in the recent past, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and then presently sitting in the Nine of Pentacles, and then the Empress in reverse for the energy that's coming through. So for your recent past, this is kind of like overcoming adversity and moving on, and overcoming some of those struggles, and that has left you in this position of independence and reward and kind of self-reliance in terms of your path. But then with this Empress in reverse energy being the next level, that's kind of those blocked creativities and like feeling unappreciated and feeling dependent. So it's interesting because you're currently sitting in that state of independence, but then kind of the next layer is dependence. So with your life path and your mission, kind of having that sense of, you overcame something and you were moving on, and maybe you thought you were in a good place, but you just didn't really know what the next step was. You kind of felt like you were on your own. So there is some rewards with the independence, but that self-reliance of feeling like, oh, it's just all up to me. And then with that next level coming in of, feeling unappreciated. But sometimes that's hard if you're so independent that you're not really building that team or that network or that family or closeness up. Then it can leave you with sort of that feeling of maybe emptiness because you're not sharing that energy. You're not getting that energetic boost by being in situations with other people that are at your vibrational level. So let's take a look at some oracle cards and see what additional messages are trying to come through. So let's take a look at our Gaia card first. Hidden path, the marriage of spirit and matter. So this is about making sure that you're looking to see all different sorts of opportunities, that they're, maybe the path that's not quite as obvious is actually the one that's going to be a good combination for you of, 5D and 3D. So, some people, if you're not very far along on your ascension process or awakening, you're very much in the 3D matrix, but you also want to make sure that you're not so 5D. I mean, you still have to put food on the table. You have to put a roof over your head and things like that. So kind of this hidden path of where can you find those opportunities to be able to sort of take the best of both worlds there. All right, let's see what we have on our Lightworker card. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being and integration. And so that goes along really well here with this integration of how do you kind of pair the two of them together. So even when we look at the career path perspective, like the jobs and careers, with your life path, since you're kind of revisiting your whole career perspective or job perspective, how do you marry that up with what your mission or life path is to be able to kind of get the best of both worlds? And that can be very energizing for you and bring in new people, because as you're more energized, your vibration level increases and you kind of naturally draw in similar vibrations. So, the whole expression of misery loves company. If you're wallowing all the time in, self-pity, a lot of times, then that's kind of the energy that you're attracting. So, if you can raise that up to a higher energy level, you're attracting higher energy people. So with this having been, with the relationships that coming out as a sort of immature situation where there's lies and deceit and things like that, if you can, if you're able to kind of weave together your job and your life path and mission, that'll help raise your vibration and bring in a higher level love relationship for you. Let's take a look at what's coming in on romance cards for you. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And that's kind of that same thing of being present. And so energetically, your vibration increases when you're practicing presence. You're not living in the past. You're not worrying about the future. Like, you're enjoying the moment, but in a I'll call it in a constructive way. So not like, throw all caution to the wind. I don't care. I'm going to go, spend everything I have in the moment because let's live for today. Not that sort of being present in the moment, but, not being fixated on, oh, here were wounds from the past. Here's mistakes I made in the past, or being overly preoccupied with worrying about the future. And I love, there's a quote, something to the effect of worrying doesn't change tomorrow. It just robs you of today. So kind of, if you're able to appreciate, like in this one, she's stopping and smelling the roses literally, and being fully present in the moment, will kind of help raise your vibration as well. So As always, take only what resonates from this message. For some of you, this will probably be something you're identifying with, but with others, maybe this is not exactly the timeline that you're on right now. But if this is information that you think would be helpful for somebody else, I would welcome you to share it with them. I will be doing a twin flame reading in about a week, so if that's a path that you're on, you can hit the notifications and the subscribe so that way you can be alerted as to when that video posts. And I'll be doing other videos, like a repeat of this one for the second half of August, and then the daily card pulls too. So until next time, I wish you joy and peace along your journey. Bye-bye.